What's up, guys? Nick back today with a quick Feed the Beast Infinity base tour. So, we've been playing on the server for a few weeks now, and we've made some pretty good progress, and I figured I'd post a quick video to YouTube sort of showing off what we've gotten done here in our Feed the Beast Infinity world. So, this is the entrance to our base. We're off in a extreme hills biome, pretty far away from most other stuff. Cool little spot. But it's not what's outside that's cool, but what's inside. So let's go ahead and head down here. See, we do have a couple portals around here. Of course, that's part of the Feed the Beast Infinity pack. And we're dropped into our Feed the Beast Infinity base. So, this is a portal-themed base. So you got the blue, the orange, and the bright colors, along with, some dark contrasting colors. This isn't modeled after any portal map or anything like that, just using its design and color scheme as some building tools. So, the one thing that's not part of this pack is Z-tones. We did add that in as a custom mod, so we can get all these good-looking blocks, especially the ones called Ism. Let's see, I'm not sure where they are in this list, but Ism being the block that allows us to get these vibrant orange and vibrant blue that matches the portal orange and blue very well. So first off, we're going to go ahead and take a right into here. This is going to be our main applied energistics area. So we have our terminals, pattern terminals, all that stuff. Eventually this is going to be filled up with drive cages and the such. But for now, I actually had those hidden away down here, which I'll show you in a second. Also just some other things set up through here. Our qued, enchantment table, stuff like that. These will all have a permanent room eventually, but as you'll soon see, we have some more important stuff going on with that. And then down here, we get into this nice long hallway that wraps around to the other side. This does have all of our auto crafting along the back, so interfaces and molecular assemblers, allowing us to auto craft a whole bunch of stuff that we have going right now. And of course, many of these are empty, so there's plenty of room to expand. I'll come back to these doors here in a second, but as we wrap around up on the blue side, we have all of our crafting coprocessors and crafting storage. A whole bunch of these so we can have multiple recipes going at once. I think this is 14 in total. So 14 different recipes crafting at once, which seems like a lot, but another thing that we do have right now is auto processor assembly. So at any time, all three of these can be crafting at once, as well as the chargers, and that takes up one of these every time it crafts. So the extra is definitely not a bad thing to have. And then, of course, along this wall, we have the three different kinds of processors, and then this makes the presses. So you have the different presses through here. Then two chargers. All this is set up to be controlled by how many we have in the system. So let's wrap around back up to the ME side. And if we type in processor, you'll see we have 50, 45, and 20 of each. Those are just some numbers that I went ahead and made up. And that just holds that many in the system at any given time. That way we don't have to wait for those to craft up, because as I'm sure you guys are very aware of, that can take a little while. So now let's go ahead and head back down to this doorway real quick. Through here is not quite finished yet, but we are putting in a substructure to the base, similar to what Portal has, especially in Portal 2. When the base starts to collapse and you see all the framework and underworking of the portal maps, which is pretty cool. And of course, this also gives us a whole bunch of space to run our ME cable, power lines, and all that good stuff. Then we'll head right down here, where we've got all of our ME controllers linked up to a whole bunch of dense cables. And a cool trick that you can do is use P2P tunnels, the ME kind, and send dense cables, actually 4 of them, through a single Fluix line. So that makes it much more efficient to send channels to faraway parts of the base, instead of having to run these really expensive dense cables throughout the whole base. And then I'll show you where all these lead here in a second. But we also have our 5x5 big reactor. This guy produces about 4,000 or 5,000 RF per tick, so not too much yet, but more than enough to run our base. And then over here, we have our capacitor bank, which runs Quarries, the ME. Everything pretty much gets filtered through here first, so we do have a power buffer. And then this is our main power line. This is hooked up to our Ender Quarry right now, which we'll also get to eventually. And that is just outputting directly into this interface. And then this little setup right here is just throwing away cobblestone. If we get too much, that way we can keep most of these drives empty. So let's go ahead and head back up into the main part of the base. That's about everything down here under the base. And then going down this main hallway from where we started, we're dropped off into this large main room. So this is just sort of a good looking room. There's not too much purpose to it yet, but it does look very nice. Again, orange, blue, cool color scheme, all that stuff. But when we come downstairs, we have our hallway right here, which has all of our single-use machines. We'll also be putting some ME terminals and the such through here, so we have access to the ME. We're going to be doing that throughout the entire base since it is large, as we'll soon find out. So let's actually go ahead and go downstairs next. Down here we have a couple of tunnels that run both sides. That just goes back up. This is just closed off, going back under the base since this isn't finished yet. Just keeping all this closed so that way mobs and stuff don't find their way into this part. And then we have this large hallway going right down here. So this, another closed off hallway, but in here we have our RF tools room. With that we have our sub ME to hold all of the dimlets, as well as all the dimlet researchers and RF tool machines. This one's actually our Quarry World. See, it's out of power, but of course the quarry will still be running. And we have sort of our test portal right here. And then back here we have all of our more permanent portals, which we can set. This guy specifically leads to the Quarry World. We have our receiver right here, so we can teleport around to other parts of the world and be transported right back here. And then just some other unused ones for now. And then farther down this hallway, we do have a couple of ME terminals. And actually, not to spoil it, we'll head back upstairs and use the main hallway to get to this next area. So walking up along this top part, we don't have too much up here. It's more of like a breezeway to get towards the rest of the base, which again is closed off with this large wall. We're starting to run a tunnel down there. We're also going to be putting in some elevator shafts. That way you don't have to take the stairs all the way down, because that can be tedious, and after you've ran up and down them twice, it gets kind of old. But off onto the blue side, we have all of our auto processing. So a pulverizer and a furnace for every kind of ore. And then, of course, these all get exported automatically, and they just drop into an interface. And just some cable, dense cable, and more of the same down on this side. And then on the orange side, we have the rest of our auto crafting and some auto processing. So we have a furnace, a pulverizer, induction smelter, alloy smelter. All of these are going to have, of course, patterns down the road, so we can control everything through our ME, and we don't ever have to use machines manually. And we also have over here some more of the auto crafting stuff. Some large tanks to hold liquid ender, destabilized redstone, and eventually cryothium in this one. And then these are just automatically being exported, so the machines always stay full. As you can see, we do have tesseracts and stuff being auto crafted right now. This one's going to be for some cabling as well. That's about it for this next part, and then this leads down into our farm area. This whole part is going to be, or is our auto farms, where we have 2 harvesters for each 7x7 farming pad. Got some ender lilies, oak trees, potatoes, and wheat. Just a few random crops that we have going right now. And these, of course, are auto planted and auto harvested. And I'll go ahead and probably show you guys the bottom of the base as well. And as these get harvested, they just get dropped into an interface, which runs back downstairs. And then this is just the other side of the main hallway we are coming down. And we have this area up here. It's empty right now, but this is going to be our Industrial Craft 2 area, where we're going to have a lot of our machines and such through here. Because IC2 is such a large mod, we decided to give it its own rather large room, and we didn't need another farm, because after we have enough wood, we can just turn off that farm and switch over to whatever other crops we might need. And then down on this side is just another sort of lower area for the IC2 stuff. This is going to be IC2 auto crafting, so we'll just have similar banks of machines as to the large setup up there, but it's all going to be for IC2. That way we don't have to do everything manually. Then again, that's about it for the base so far. It's following a large open concept, so with a jetpack you can get just about anywhere in the base. But let's go ahead and head back through those doors leading to the outer area of the base, and I'll show you sort of how we have stuff run below, because some people like that. So we'll just jump off here. You can see we have a lot of area opened up down here. We were just using a filler and sort of carving out large chunks of area as we needed the space. Pretty ugly underneath, but you can see once we have the framework ran, it's not going to look quite as bad. And over here we have our blue flukes line coming down, holding 4 dense cables worth of channels, and some more light catwalk, along with the energy conduit. This runs to something like the RF tools room, which we have all the teleporters right back here with its own set of cable. And then the blue cable comes down even further into here where we have some of the terminals, as well as up here which runs to the auto processing. And then through this line we have the orange cable, which is all the auto crafting stuff, as well as a couple more terminals for something like the IC2 room. Then lastly we just have the farming area. This is all of our planters underneath, along with their matching export buses. You can see we just have the seeds and everything being put straight into the planter, and we just marked off a whole bunch of it with cobblestone, since we don't need to hold this much backstock in every planter. But other than that, that's about how far we've gotten so far. Oh, we can actually go to the Quarry World real quick. It's not too interesting, but I'll just show you where we have all of our quarries going. We have made it to the end as well. Beat the dragon, we just didn't bother getting the egg. That's where we have a lot of our ender pearls, especially for the Tesseract auto crafting. Then let's actually head down here, get back to the RF tools room. We'll go ahead and pop this into the dimension builder, give it a quick charge. What is that, 100,000, a million, something ridiculous like that. RF is plenty to run the world for a few hours. And let's jump into the Quarry World. This is just a really simple spawned-in world. There's no dense ores. It's actually a extreme hills biome. So as you can see up here, it is the extreme hills plus, so emeralds will spawn here, but it's super flat, so that way it's easier to run all of our ender quarries. And we had an issue with the ender quarry running when we were offline or not loading up our base, so through chunk loader here, and that fixed everything. And you can see we have it running slow and steady in this whole area through here. But other than that, that's about all we've got done on the base right now. I hope you guys like it. Definitely, if you want to leave some feedback down below, you know, saying what improvements we might make, or if you have any ideas for other cool rooms or a different setup that you might want to see us do, I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.